They don't think you could do it, but tell you to try when they talk. All I hope had to keep it at last. Spend a day in the Bronx, but you wouldn't survive. Can be low when I pop out, they know I've arrived. I go have conversations with Zoe, he gon' tell me pull up and come say what you know. I've been up, I can count all them days in a row. We don't say what we do, we be making the show. They say I be
the voice of the Bronx. We have Bronx Name with the guys that are out here. Can I get a yeah?
Leave them all right where they at. Try to diss me, I bet I don't even react. Put a show on, I bet you somebody gon' I pick me a book up and drink me some water, invest in the stock. All kids on me back.
All right, peace and love, world. Welcome to another episode of Conversation with Zoe. We are here with the guy, Michael Smith Baker, public
God
figure.
damn, you said my whole fucking government.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the guy Champ, public figure, co-host of My Expert Opinion Show, director of marketing and advertising for the Vibez, the world's #1 brand in prison entertainment, the world's first social media magazine, the Vibez, manager, advisor, podcaster, and a great connector. Welcome, my brother.
So, great introduction. I appreciate that,
Thank you,
bro.
man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, listen, man. I was telling you off camera, like, I fuck with your show.
Thank you.
I'll be watching it, and I'm a guy that drives around a lot. So when I'm driving, I have YouTube on.
Right.
And I look for, like, what's new. And Monk put me on and was like, yo, check this out.
Right.
And I've been on it ever since. JoJo Simmons, I'll Be Out, The Mistress Chick, like, and a few others.
Yeah.
So keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you, man.
Shout
I
out to
appreciate
you.
it. Welcome, man. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we're sporting the Conversation with Zoe white and pink breast cancer awareness tee. So hit me up for the merch. We got some here today. But I want to start with some current topics. Right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right.
Let's do it.
What is your take on the whole Will and Jada situation?
Will and Jada, yo, so it's funny because Math went live a few weeks ago and posed this what if question, right? About what if Will Smith really killed Tupac?
Right.
Right? I don't know if you've seen that.
Right.
But it made me actually think of things a little differently because initially I said, okay, they've been going back and forth for years, you know what I'm saying? And every time he showed some type of love to her, she said something about Tupac.
Right.
Like Tupac is automatically a part of the conversation. So I think it's something on Will's side that's going on.
Yeah.
That she's not putting out there to the world.
Right.
Only Will knows and she knows, and she wants to hurt him in other ways.
Right.
Because she doesn't want to expose what that is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what's going on underliningly.
Right.
It could be the swinger shit. It could be, he could be a mook. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. But
yeah,
if he got some skeletons in his closet.
I feel like that too. Whatever. I mean, honestly, it's crazy because I was like, yo, whatever it is, Will, just tell us, and we'll get through this together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like,
bro, it's not like it's 2023, almost 2024. Like, what could you really tell us? Like, what's gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the way he be snapping, bro. The way he be putting hands on people
crazy,
and all that. It's like, yo, it's something deeper going on there. It ain't just on the surface. I think he never got over that August Alsina shit too.
No, that was crazy. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? She got that young dick and she was like, fuck it.
Oof, that's different. Living in your crib.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta see what dudes don't realize, like you've been with a woman for a certain amount of years, y'all might play around with other girls, whatever y'all into, right? It gets boring after a while.
Right.
So who knows? It might have been a thing after she got that young dick, she was like, Will, you ain't cutting it no more.
Right.
And she probably fucking more young niggas.
Right. And then August came out that he got a boyfriend. And
oh, yeah.
That came out a couple months.
That was crazy, bro.
Crazy.
That was crazy. And that makes you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you ain't just come out, nigga. You been that way.
Yeah, you been that way.
You don't just turn gay.
Yeah, no.
Overnight. You know, like boys. You know what I'm saying?
I think he wanted to. I think when he came in the game, I think that was something that he's like, I want to say mid 2000s, early 2011, 2010.
Yeah, I think mid 2000s. Yeah.
So yeah, we wasn't doing that, but those times weren't as accepting.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
And I think he probably kept it under the wraps, like a lot of dudes in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get my foot in the door. Let me establish myself.
Right.
And I mean, what's his name? Wasn't Tevin Campbell or the other guy?
I don't want to put that on him because I'm not sure.
Right.
But I heard that he was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing with like Tyler Creator.
Right.
A few other cats, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, going back to the Will and Jada shit, it's like, yo, if that's your thing, that's your thing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all swinging, y'all doing whatever y'all do. You hear about these Hollywood parties.
Right.
And all the crazy shit that be going on in there. So, like, I heard stories about Jamie Foxx parties, Diddy parties, and these are people that, like, I know.
Right.
But it's not my place to talk about it.
Right,
but shit like this goes on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And after a while, it probably gets boring, and she probably just chasing young dick now.
Right. The real estate Rico.
Oh, that shit is crazy.
There's a lot going on out there.
I was actually, like I told you, I was actually locked up with Caesar. I bumped into him, I came home, May of 2021? I bumped into him late 2021. I went to an event, Earn Your Leisure, Envy and him was doing at the Maserati dealership on the west side of Manhattan. And this is the first time I met Envy. And I seen him, and when he seen me, he's like, yo, champ, what up, bro? Da, 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 da. I'm like, oh, shit, we call him Gordo in jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even Caesar, what the fuck is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, he's known for doing certain things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not surprised.
Right.
I'm totally not surprised. I'm more shocked that Envy even connected himself to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Envy has a fucking clean-ass record, a clean slate. So it's like, why attach yourself to it? And now he could have attached himself to it because possibly he was scammed too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't know. He may have not known.
Right.
What you think?
I feel like with a person with the platform that he has, the stature, the legacy, the 30 years in the game, I don't think it's possible for him to be that careless. With that large amount of money, who he is, who he's connected to, like, if it was extremely careless for him not to do it. Because I'm sure if I come around, he'd do his homework on me.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So I'm seeing that. I'm seeing.
But you have situations where there'll be people around you that you trust that put the stamp on the nigga.
True.
You know what I'm saying? True. So it's like Monk came to you and was like, yo, champ is official. You might just accept it for what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because of people around you trust.
Right.
That happens too.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, whatever it is,
Thank
those guys definitely, they in deep, and something's going to happen, and let's see how the cookie crumbles on that side.
Let's see, man. I know that they hiring at POW 105.1.
Right.
iHeartRadio.
I might apply.
Why not?
See what's up
you
there.
Popping, nigga. Why not?
That's facts.
That.
You know what I mean?
I would if I wasn't on math shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I ain't on math yet. I don't know. So
yeah.
Let me be my start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On the Breakfast Club,
That's a fact.
Yeah. So, Bard College. We're gonna go through your education. Associate's degree in liberal arts, sports, and fitness, administration, and management.
Yeah, bachelor's in liberal arts.
Right. So that reminds me when Jadakiss
said
that. Why they stopped letting niggas get degrees in jail. So,
well, they didn't stop. Well, you talking about back then?
Back then.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So how was going to school?
Going to school was cool.
Right.
It was fucking cool. It was the illest shit I ever did in my fucking life until I came home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, all the years prior to that, I did 3 prison bids plus a juvenile bid. And I never thought about getting my education until my 4th bid, which I just did the 7. And the OGs made it look cool to be smart.
Right.
I never been in any other like jail where it looked cool to be smart. You had to be a thug. You had to be hustling. You had to be putting hands and feet on niggas. Like, and I was like, yo, man, damn, this is my 4th bid, my 4th time in this shit. And I'm getting older, and I got to look at other options now.
Right.
I can't just be the nigga in the yard selling drugs and making phone calls and running down on niggas for bread. I can't be doing that no more.
Right.
So at the very start of the bid, one of the OGs, my man Hakeem, he was like real studious, but he's still a hood nigga.
Right.
And everybody respected him.
Right.
He was cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, why don't you come down to the basement over there? But that's what we called it. I was in Fishkill. He was like, yo, take the entrance exam and all that. Right. And I was like, nah, man, on the defense, as always, that shit is whack, blah, 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 nah, nigga, that shit'll keep you in this jail, and you got way more opportunities when you go home.
Right.
I'm like, all right, man, fuck it. And what really convinced me is that night I went to the yard and I seen a bunch of niggas debating, right? And they was in a heated debate, and I thought it was like going down, but these niggas were debating about calculus, bro.
Right.
Yo, I was like, what the fuck? He's like, nah, nigga, because if the sun is this far from the joint, da-da-da-da, then X to Y to minus negative this. I'm like, these niggas arguing over fucking math?
Right.
He's like, yeah, bro, them niggas be going in right there. I'm like, yo, that looks cool. So, I took the entrance exam amongst like 200-something other men. I wound up making it. Only 16 of us made it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And once I got in and seen how proud my family was that I got in, my girl and everybody else, I was like, all right, I ain't gonna fuck up this opportunity.
Right.
And I went in there and I learned critical thinking and a lot of elements that we learned from the street I brought to the classroom as well,
Right.
amongst my peers. So it was able to open my mind and look at things from a different angle as far as like how to deal with society.
Right.
When I get back out, my mom was always in the street.
Right.
I was never in prison.
Right.
So I was able to create things. I was able to link certain things, and I really understood the power of my mind once I started getting my education.
Beautiful. U.S. Career Institute certification, physical fitness.
Oh shit! This nigga going back.
And Mind-Body Therapies and Education.
Oh, that's crazy, bro. So
LinkedIn.
Yeah. LinkedIn. Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't been on LinkedIn in a minute.
Hey, you know,
that's from like fucking.
Source.
That's from 2000 and I see that.
Yeah.
I don't even got that on my Instagram profile. Not many people know I was a personal trainer.
Putting it out there now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. So I had got my personal trainer certification on my last bid, not this bid, the bid before that when I did 6.
Right.
And that was my thing. I said I'm gonna go home and be a personal trainer, start a fitness business, and get to the bag. And it was going good for a while. I had got the certification while I was in prison, so I was training mad dudes in there. Like I used to have all the young boys in the yard working out at the same time.
Right.
15, 20 dudes over here. Yo, y'all do this circuit over here. Y'all do this, boom, boom, boom. So niggas like, yo, go home and get to the bag with that. So I came home. I started working at funny story is I was walking around my neighborhood in Park Slope, Brooklyn, and I had the certification with me, my resume and all that. I'm like, I'm gonna try to do the right thing. I'm stopping by mad boutique gyms, you know, dropping my resume off, looking for a manager to talk to them, I was like 260, I was solid. And a lot of them was curving me.
Right.
So now this is how God works, right? The universe works when your mind is on a specific goal, right? I stopped by one spot on 5th Avenue Union, and it's a brother and sister that own it. So I walk in there, I talk to the front desk guy. I'm like, yo, here's my resume, you know, can I speak to the manager? So he's like, oh, they not here right now, but I'll leave it for him. All right, cool. I walk out onto the sidewalk. I walk about 15 feet, and a dude that I ain't seen in years is coming up the street. And he like, yo, Champ, what up, bro? So I stop, and me and him is kicking it. The manager runs out of the gym and is like, excuse me, Mrs. Smith Baker, can you come back? Right? And I went back and I wound up getting a job there, right? But what I'm saying is, if I would have just kept walking down the block, I would have, you know, been pissed off like, damn, I stopped by 20 spots, I ain't get a hit. I could have just gave up, but the universe and God was like, nah, hold on. I'm gonna stop you in your tracks because there's something coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I wound up getting in there and being a top black trainer in this gym. Like, I fucking trained Scarlett Johansson. I trained the other guy from Transformers, I forgot his name. People from American Gangster, the movie. Mad people I trained. But I don't really talk about it. So it's crazy that you brought it up. But
that's super cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
And then I went back to the streets.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right. So we're gonna start from the beginning and work our way forward, right? So describe your childhood.
My childhood was pretty cool, man. You know, my pops wasn't there. I grew up in a house full of women for the most part, grandmother, aunties, my sister, my moms. We was all living in my grandmother's crib, and my mom's moved out when I was like maybe 3 or 4 and moved to Red Hook. She wanted her independence. My mom's had me when she was like 15 years old.
Right.
So she was tired of my grandmother's rulership, but my grandmother was like, nah, he's staying with me. Right? And then it came a point, it's kind of fuzzy in my head, but it came a point where I wound up moving in with my mom's in Red Hook Projects, and that was a culture shock because I was living in Park Slope.
Right.
So here I go, I'm going to PS27, I'm fighting now, I'm stealing, I'm shoplifting out of stores, doing all this shit. Shit that I was scared to do when I was in Park Slope. I got introduced to it in the hood. And you know, my mom's, you know, I love her. Today's her birthday, actually. So happy birthday, Rosalind Smith. My mom's Rosalind Smith Chalmers.
Right.
But you know, she started using it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? She became a product of the environment, and my grandmother seen it. And she came and got custody of me, and I grew up with my grandmother. So living with my grandmother, and I used to go between Red Hook, Gowanus, and Park Slope. My great-grandmother lived in Gowanus. And after school, we go there, whatever. it was very family oriented. Everybody that they come from work, they go to great grandma's house.
Right.
The kids after school go to great grandma's house. We eat, and when our parents and stuff is done work, they come pick us up and take us home.
Right.
So it was very, very, very loving, very loving. But there wasn't really any male role figures there.
Right.
Right. So we had to figure it out, like the boys. I'm the black sheep. All the other boys figured it out. They've been doing very well. They still doing well. I went through the fucking dark road.
Right.
And a lot of times it was because I was sheltered.
Right.
I was spoiled. Like, I was very spoiled as a kid. I had anything I wanted. I had polo, I had Lacoste, I had this, I had that, fresh haircut. I didn't want for nothing.
Right.
But I still decided to go left.
Right.
And even as many times as I went left, my grandmother never gave up on me.
Right.
Never gave up on me, bro, to this day. Every bid that I did, every time I got locked up, bail out, everything, bro.
Right.
So you can understand, like, what happens to a person's mind who isn't fully developed yet when you're enabling them, right? I get locked up, I'll go steal a car, some stupid shit at a young age, go to the precinct, my grandmother right there. And then I'll get rewarded after, like, all right, we're going to dinner and we're gonna go do this and do that, because she didn't want to lose me like any of her other kids.
Right.
So my childhood was good for the most part. It had its bumps and bruises, but I started going to jail at a very young age, at like 14. Right. You know what I'm saying? So from 14 to fucking 1 month old, everything was good.
Right.
But after 14, it went to shits.
Right. What's your relationship like with your mom?
Oh, it was great. Me and my mom are good. My mom, she don't even live out here. She got herself together like years and years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she's doing very well for herself. She live in Texas somewhere. I'm not gonna say where.
Right.
And she's good. Her and her husband. Shout out to Kevin Chalmers, my step pops. But she's very spiritually orientated now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She's very spiritually in tune, and I love her, man. We look like twins.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just that it took some time for us to get there because my grandmother.
Right. And what's up with your pops?
Oh, my dad, so my dad, I never knew him. Right? I never knew my dad up until I was like, 30, 32, maybe? I was in solitary confinement and I got a letter from him.
Wow.
At a time when I was contemplating suicide.
Wow.
So, and that's another thing about you knowing that you have a purpose.
Right.
Because I was done. It was over. I was done. Had everything set up. I had the sheet set up, hanging off the ceiling, all of that. And I asked, though, you know, I got on my knees and I prayed to God and I said, yo, if I am meant to be here, if I have a purpose, like, show me something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they did mail call. I was waiting until after mail call to actually do it because the police would walk by already. And they walked by and they dropped this thick-ass fucking envelope in my cell and it said Thomas Baker. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I opened it and all that. It was like fucking 30 pages. My dad breaking everything down to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So after that, man, like I broke down, bro, like a kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna straighten up. I'm gonna straighten up. Yeah, obviously I didn't because I went back to jail. But at that time, at that moment, I decided to stay on this planet.
Right.
But we have a good relationship.
Right. So you did 6 years.
Shit, nigga. I did 2 years and 3 months in detention for youth, which is called DFY.
Right.
Then I did 2.5 years upstate New York. Then I did another 2.5 years in upstate New York. Then I did 6 years. Then I did 7.
Right. So I guess it's not always like you get a strike every time you go.
What you mean?
You know the whole 3 strikes you're out?
Well, I was past that. I was past that, bro. I have like 4. I got like, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, I got 4. Yeah, that 3 strike rule don't hold out here in New York.
Right.
I got 4 felonies on my record. Like they call it a persistent. I'm a persistent felon.
Right.
Persistent predicate, excuse me.
Right.
So I have multiple felonies. Like every time I got locked up, I had like 6 felonies I was fighting.
Right.
But anytime you cop out, I copped out every time. I never went to trial or nothing.
Right.
Because I knew I did it, I was wrong. I'm gonna hold it down.
Right.
Let's keep it moving. I never had a co-defendant.
Right.
I don't do that. I never did that because I seen what happened with co-Ds.
Right.
So, anytime I would cop out, they would condense it and make it one felony.
Right.
So obviously the juvenile shit don't count because
Right.
I'm underage or whatever. So from 2000 all the way to 2021, I caught 4 felonies all together once they condense it. But if you look at it individually, it's probably like fucking 50 something.
Right. Sheesh.
Yeah. That's my timeline.
Right. So you didn't really go to high school?
No, I got my GD in prison.
Okay.
But high school, no. I didn't make it through high school out in the street.
Right. So pretty much you chose the streets.
Oh yeah. I'm not one of them excuse
Right.
type of guys. I chose to go in that direction because negative looked more entertaining than the truth.
Right. How did it feel to be sentenced?
Well, I feel like the world's coming down on you.
Right.
Like literally, it feel like a super weight, but then there's also, it's a weird dynamic, and anybody who's been sentenced can understand what I'm saying. It's a weird dynamic because it's like, if you know you did this shit and you're content with knowing you did it, then you feel a sense of relief.
Right.
Right? Depending on the amount of time you're getting.
Right.
But then there's that distress of your family and your friends and your girls, and you're gonna be missing money or your freedom in general. There's that distress that's heavy on you.
Right.
But the other side is like, I know I did wrong. I admitted to it. I was accountable for my actions. I know I victimized so many people, but I'm taking responsibility for it, and I'm gonna try not to let it happen again. Whatever.
Right.
So that side is the relief side. The other side, with all the family stuff and missing your freedom, is the most stressful shit.
Right. What was jail like?
Jail, nigga. I first went to jail. I got beat up crazy.
Right.
Like, I'm not one of them dudes that's gonna put sugar on shit. Like,
Right.
anybody who tell you, like, I went to the first jail I ever went to was Spofford in the Bronx.
Right.
And being that I'm neutral, I never joined any gang.
Right.
My whole prison career, I never was a gang member.
Right.
And the first time I went to jail, it was all about property. Who owns what? I didn't recognize that till later.
Right.
Like, you sitting in that chair, that's somebody's chair.
Right.
This microphone I'm talking into, this is somebody's mic.
Right.
Whoever got the most time in, whoever is the most alpha male.
Right.
And we're adolescents, you 13, 14 years old.
Right.
And you know, me not knowing, I'm jumping in dudes' chairs, I'm jumping on the phone, the Bloods got a phone, this fucking Lion King's got a phone. I don't know none of this shit. So niggas was fucking beating me upside my head, jumping me. Never no one-on-one. I always got jumped.
Right.
But I was always fighting back.
Right.
Because then when they would say, yo, when I went to Rikers Island for the first time, yo, you with the program? Hell no, I'm not with the program, nigga. What we doing?
Right.
The program is take off your sneakers, take off your clothes. If you got Coogee at that time, Iceberg, and Polo and all that on, take all that shit off. We're going to give you a jumper. Here goes some Skippies. They called them Patakis at the time. Throw them shits on and give us your PIN number. And if you come down from the visiting floor with the bag, you got to give us that too. Commissary, all of that. I'm like, oh, word? Yeah, I'm not, yeah. That might as well go upside my head right now. Right. That ain't happening. So I got my respect in prison from fighting back.
Right.
More so than being a nigga that came in and tried to run everything, being a tough guy. No, that wasn't me when I first went to prison. I learned the hard way.
Right. Did you find yourself comfortable in jail?
It's sad to say, but after the first bid, yeah.
Right.
After I did that first bid, I got beat up by cops. I got stabbed in my chest because niggas thought I was blood. I went to the box a few times and I got jumped. So after going through that, upstate New York, in prison, when I came back in, I was like, I already know what this shit is about. I know exactly what to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know how to manipulate this and manipulate that. You know, I know who to talk to, who not to talk to.
Right.
I know I gotta fucking get my weight up in this shack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So niggas know that I don't fuck with son. Son gonna take it there with you.
Right.
And that's what I did. So I made sure I started controlling my surroundings. I became the fucking wolf that at one time I was in fear of.
Right.
I became that nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it did become comfortable. I got a nigga over here washing my clothes. I got motherfuckers cooking food for me. I got motherfuckers bringing me the bag, you know, bud and whatever else I need, a jack.
Right.
Like I got all that at my disposal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, yeah, this is comfortable. And that's fucked up.
Right.
I'm not sitting here glorifying this shit.
No, it's
This
just
shit
part of
is
the story.
fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you come home and you like, unconsciously, you're like, or subconsciously, you're like, I could do that shit again.
Right.
You don't say it to your, to your conscious self. You don't talk about it to people.
Right.
But a lot of niggas who've been locked up know that if you come back home and you feel like you ain't got no other choices, you fucking go out to the street and in your mind you say, I could do another one. I could do another 2, another 3. Niggas say that to themselves.
Right.
That's what a recidivist is.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And unfortunately, I had that mindset, but I didn't know it at the time.
Right. Right. And that's good because that was my next question. What was your mindset? But what were you exposed to that says, I'm done with this life?
My great-grandmother passing away was a big deal. It hurt a lot. And that helped me change. It helped me change a lot. You know what I'm saying? Even though there was still sides of me when I was in prison, because she died while I was in prison on my last bid.
Right.
And there was still sides of me that would dibble and dabble and do shit, but I knew she was watching me, so I'd be like, damn, let me stop.
Right.
Let me go this way instead of that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And excuse me, and my girl too. My girl, she helped me out a lot. She held me down this last bid, and I never had that.
Right.
Prior bids.
Right.
I never had a woman that stuck with me the whole time. Like,
Right.
show me that loyalty, drop everything for me, same way my grandmother would, right? It's crazy. Right. And she didn't play though. She kept me grounded. She's like, I don't give a fuck who you are, nigga.
Very tasty, cheesy, oniony, all of the above. One word to describe it, scrumptious, right? We from the town, so we just gonna say pause first, but it melts in your mouth. You just love it. You know what I'm saying? I wear this shirt to sleep. How much I love 7th Street Burger, man. It's near and dear to my heart. You see the logo? It's near to my heart. That's how we do it, man. Peace.
This is how this gonna be. When you come home, you're not coming back. Like, and that's what men are missing. You know what I'm saying? They're missing that person that tells them that. Especially a woman, a black woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I got that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So those 2 things plus education, my great-grandmother passing, her, my girl, and my education are the 3 things that changed my mindset.
Right. Did you get to attend the funeral?
No. And I wilded out. I was in a Manhattan House. I was in the Tombs during that time. It was 2016.
Right.
And I tried to be cool and cordial about it because they called me down to the counselor's office and my grandmother called in for me. So I went down to the counselor's office. She was like, yeah, she's gone or whatever. You know what I mean? So I talked to the counselor. I'm like, yo, I need to go to the funeral. They told me you can't go because it's not a direct relative of yours, like a mother, brother, sister, like a grandmother, great-grandmother. Like they don't jack that. Wow. So I had niggas turn the whole building up.
Right.
Turned the whole fucking building up, like for like a week. It was crazy.
Wow.
Because I couldn't go. Not the right thing to do though.
Right.
It's not the right thing to do.
Right.
But that's my truth. That's what
that
happened.
time in life. So, self-love.
Self-love. What is that?
I mean, when do you feel like you started to practice more self-love?
I don't even think I'm practicing it yet.
Right.
I'm too busy worried about so much other shit outside of me.
Right.
I don't even think I'm practicing that yet. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Like,
right.
I love myself. You know what I'm saying? I care for myself generally, but I care more about other people than myself a lot.
So, do you feel like this time around you value your life and your freedom much more now?
Yeah. And so, all right, so speaking of self-love, I have a selfishness to me when it comes to my freedom.
Right.
I'm very like strict about where I go, what I do, who I spend my time with, who I don't, me having my own time to myself, and I don't let nothing around me or no one interfere with that.
Right.
It's my own citadel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like my woman understands it, and a lot of my friends understand it. Like he's just gonna go.
Right.
Like you can't try to hold this nigga back. Like just let him go. He'll be back.
Right.
But he needs his freedom.
Right. What's a good OG?
A good OG?
Yeah.
Am I an OG now?
I mean,
like, cause I know I'm
remember
older
we
now.
gotta talk to the youth. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got to get them to gain a perspective.
I mean,
because the OGs they showing us now, those ain't OGs to me.
mhm.
You know, so I want to go back to the roots of what a solid OG is or should be.
A solid OG is an older gentleman or woman who's going to put you on the right path, right? Because you don't know as a young person what your path is. Some kids are advanced, some aren't, right?
Right.
Especially where we come from. So a good OG is going to tell you, yo, I'm going to show you these different things, and you choose what you're passionate about. And whatever that thing is that you're passionate about, I'm going to help you.
Right.
In some form or fashion. That's what a good OG is. And I've done that since I've been home. Like, without me, because I've been stuck in a time warp in prison, I forget that I'm older.
Right.
So I still be like doing young boy shit sometimes.
Right.
But when the young boys come up to me and the young girls and they like, yo, I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that. And I'll be looking at them like, yo, what? You a whole grown person. Like, you got the future ahead of you. What are you asking me for? But I'll be catching myself.
Right.
And I'm like, oh no, I'm not their age.
Right.
I'm fucking older. I've been through mad shit already.
Right.
And I sit down and I talk to them. I make calls for them, whatever, you know, they may need that I can help, that's in my power.
Right.
I do it. But it's leading by example also.
Right.
Like, you know, I move a certain way, I do certain things because these kids are exposed to so much with the internet and technology now.
Right.
So it's like, it's but so much you can shield from them. And I don't play that shielding shit because that's what got me in trouble in the first place.
Right.
You have to expose them and tell them the truth about things, especially if you've been through it.
Right.
And another thing is they're not gonna listen. And this is a fact. I don't care how disciplined like parents are out there with their kids. Yo, they're going to find out.
Right.
They're going to find out whatever it is you're trying to shield them from. So don't shield them. Show them what it is that's out there and then let them know the pros and cons of it and let them make their own choices.
Right.
That's what I wish I had.
Right. How would you define a real nigga?
Real nigga. I don't even like jack that term, bro.
Right.
I don't jack that term at all. It's like you could use any other term besides real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't exist in my stratosphere, bro.
Right. I feel like
because it always, sorry, not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
It always depends on the situation.
Right.
Right? It's always situational. You're a real nigga when it's situational.
Thank you.
And when it's something going down and it's like, yo, I could perform, I could do my thing on this one and prove to everybody I'm a real nigga. But then there's another situation on the other side where, you know, all that shit you've been saying gonna come to test.
Right.
And you might tell.
Right.
You might tell, you might get beat up. It might be a whole bunch of shit, but where the real nigga at?
Right.
And that's why real niggas are rare.
Right. That will suffice. That's all I needed right there. You know.
Yeah.
Give them a range of where we're at with things. But how are you working through like the what ifs? You know, like kind of like, damn, if I would have known this sooner. Or
I don't dwell on that.
Right. Good.
I don't dwell on that.
Giving
No.
yourself grace.
Yeah. I don't dwell on that shit because the truth of the matter is everything. Your road is your road. Whatever you go through, you're meant to go through.
Right.
It's about you getting it.
Right.
Right? That's why retrospect is so important.
Right.
Going in retrospect down your timeline. Every time you go home at night and you know you had a full day, whatever happened during the day, sit back and reflect.
Right.
Look back because looking back, it shows you how to look forward.
Right.
Right? So I don't dwell on the shit that happened because I know it made me the great person I am right now.
Right. Nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining.
Oh, my brother, Mr. Gyro, the owner of YKTV magazine, told me that because it was somebody talking crazy on the internet, and he was like, "A lie is more. Nobody wants to hear the truth, and the lie is more entertaining." He told me that, and I shared it on social media.
Right.
It's a fact.
It is.
It's a fact. Think about it. Like all of us are conditioned to that shit. Like, right? We can sit here and talk all the positive shit we want, right?
Right.
But when we scroll through YouTube, most of us, not everybody, scroll through YouTube and we see a title or a certain visual that looks entertaining, we click on that shit.
Right.
We click on it immediately because we like, even though I'm not jacking it, I just want to see what's being said. I want to hear it.
Right.
You know, I'll make my own decision later, but it could be a bald-faced lie.
Right.
You will click on that shit. Jada Pinkett says she sucked Tupac dick.
Right.
You're clicking on that shit.
Right.
You want
She said she sold crack.
She said she sold crack. I'm clicking on it. Word, you sold crack, Jada? That's
Right.
crazy. But that's why that quote is a fact. It's not nothing. It's no other way to look at it.
Right. Why my expert opinion?
What do you mean, why? It's the greatest show in the world.
And then you a hater.
Word.
You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie, that was by happenstance.
Right.
I didn't see that in my trajectory.
Right.
Being in media because of the magazine thing, right?
Right.
The universe put me on the path to be in some type of other media out here in the free world.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was, I've told this story before. I was grateful enough to meet a woman named Shaw Newell, a therapist to Math Hoffa. And she said, yo, I think you two guys will work great together.
Right.
And we spoke a few times over the phone. And I wound up bumping into him at the Made in America Festival in 2022.
Right.
In the Duce Lounge. Shout out to my man Dren Starr and Duce. Love you, bro.
Duce, we need a sponsorship, by the way. Make that happen.
Yeah, let's talk after.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk, sure.
But me and Math met in that section, in the Duce section, and we was just chopping it. We was just talking.
Right.
Had magazines on me. I was hungry as fuck.
Right.
I'm talking about hungry. Like I was doing, my 1-2s. I was literally, if you look through my Instagram page, bro, I've been like everywhere in 2 years. And
right. Facts.
And around a lot of people. But I sat down with him. He was drinking and just talking, and I had magazines with me. I'm like, yo, this is the magazine look like, da-da-da. He's like, yo, come by the shop on Tuesday. And I'm like, all right, cool. So my man Dren Starr gave me the address, was like, yo, go to the shop or whatever. And Tony Ayo, Uncle Murder was there.
Right.
The fucking viral interview. And I was sitting right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know both of the brothers, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, I like this shit.
Right.
Word. I looked around because I watched episodes before, but to be sitting there, I'm like, yo, I like this shit.
Vibe, yeah.
These niggas is really going at it. This is the type of shit I like.
Right.
And he invited me again. But again, like I said before, the thing is, any institution I step in, I have something to offer as well.
Right.
If I know somebody's giving me an opportunity, Math Hoffa gave me an opportunity, I have to prove myself because there's other people in the room. Right, that have positions. I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes, but I know I came out of prison. I'm hungry.
Right.
I'm starving.
Right.
So I'm gonna do what everybody is not doing.
Right.
I'm gonna get the drinks.
Right.
I'm gonna take out the garbage. Mav noticed that off the rip. He's like, yo, you want to manage the shop and sit in the chair? I said, hell yeah.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's why, again, thanks to Mav, that's why I sit where I sit. I sit next to the guests.
Right.
Every episode. Because I work behind the scenes.
Right.
I'm not in there just twiddling my thumbs and, oh, I'm next to Math Hoffa, I'm gonna be fine. No, I be working, my nigga.
Right.
I be working, right, Monk?
It's good. It's good. It's good to embrace your role, play your position,
but
add value.
Absolutely. But why my expert opinion? Because it's authentic.
Right.
It's fucking authentic. It is real as fuck. None of this fluff shit, none of this freestyle shit, none of that. Like, we are 110% with each other all the way around. I don't know about them other niggas. Don't ask me about them niggas.
No, sir. We leave that
But
alone.
I know the squad we got, we're all 110%. We don't mind saying how we feel, talking to each other behind the scenes and pointing out an issue, on anybody's fault. You know what I'm saying? And then getting through it and moving forward. Because we're all focused on the overall mission.
Right. How did it feel to be a part of conversations that are impacting the culture?
That shit feel dope as fuck.
Right.
Yo, you know how dope it feel to have done all that time in prison and come home and go to a club and they just let you in?
Right.
Because of your face card? You know how good that shit feel?
Shit feels good.
Yo, homie, that shit feel good as fuck.
Right.
My nigga, because I used to have to go to the bouncing and have a 50 in my hand and do all of this.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, then I gotta go in there and pop a bottle and I gotta do all this extra shit. Now it's like, yo, I'm gonna tell you a funny story real quick. I went to the Roots Festival in Philly, right? Remember? Yep. So I go there, drive down there, and I get in the spot, thanks to Monk, I get in to the Roots Festival, but once I get in, I'm never satisfied, my nigga.
Right.
Like I'm not just gonna be walking around here with everybody else. Like I'm supposed to be backstage over there.
Oh, I got a good follow-up on you.
All right, say no more.
Yeah.
So I go find out where backstage is at. The front security nigga doesn't recognize me.
Right.
I'm not tripping. Rory and Mal come, they just walk right in.
Right.
Right? I'm like, these fuck niggas, man.
Right.
I was pissed. But then one nigga, some tall 6'8" nigga looked over and was like, yo, Champ, what up, son? Yo, da-da-da. I'm like, yo, what up, bro? How you? Give him a dap. He's like, you coming back here? I'm like, I'm trying. This nigga acting crazy. Right. He like, nah, nigga, you wow. You know what this is? This nigga did mad Tom and Jelly on the biggest podcast. Da-da-da-da. This nigga putting all the sauce on it for me.
Right.
Get back there. Get back there. Who's back there? Wallow.
Right.
Buster, Spliff. We interviewed Spliff.
Right.
Talib Kweli. A plethora of people are back there.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, this is where the fuck I'm supposed to be
this
at.
Is more like it.
What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So that's my expectation all the time. And again, shout out to Math because Math introduced that to me.
Right.
I've been around because of the magazine. I've been in different situations and places, but people seeing you visually like that,
right?
They respect it and they like, nah, that nigga's supposed to be over here.
Right.
So I love that shit, man.
Right, that's a good feeling.
I might just go run to a spot after this interview and just to test that shit.
To test it, right? Yo, so I was at Vegandale recently, right? Vegan festival a couple weeks ago. Had a great time. So now I got a media pass. But the media pass, it was like this barricade, right? And that's where you was at, right? But what I did was I got there, introduced myself to security. Said what
you look like a security nigga anyway.
Type shit, right? You know, but making my rounds, you know, doing what I had to do. So then I met Styles P in the parking lot. So that's how I ended up on the stage.
I seen that. I seen that on your page.
Yeah, so I just ended up, you know, walking in right then because it looked like Entourage, you know what I mean?
Right.
Boom. Coil Ray come on, everybody got to get off. Fine, I get off the stage, but I caught a lot of good content already, right? So now Rick Ross is on. And I met him in the parking lot. We chopped it up for a little. Then I go back on stage and I see this guy, right? And I was on the side of it, and he's pouring water into the steam machine. Right. But there's no hose anywhere. So he's like literally 3 boxes of water and just pouring them manually in them. So I just helped him. Right? Guy comes over, yo, you gotta get off. And the guy goes, he's stage crew. I say, yeah, I'm stage crew. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, come on.
That's how you do that. Manipulate the situation.
Give me that camera.
That's a fact.
Man. I'm like,
that's what's up. Yeah, nigga.
And it just happened, bro. So I found my way there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Other events, I was able to go on stage, but that one, stage crew.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
And that's an amazing story, bro, because I've been through the same thing when I first came home. Shout out to my man Shampoo, YNVS Shampoo. Right. That's my OG right there. Right. But he used to take me around everywhere when I first came home. All the clubs, the concerts, whatever. Right. And one time we went to Summer Jam. Right. This was last year, June. Yeah, because I met Math in September. So he called me early in the morning, yo, pull up to my crib, I got some stuff we got to bring because he had to work the parking lot or whatever. So I'm out there with him, right? I'm out there with him chilling, He was like, yo, here's the general admissions pass. Find your way. He said, I'm getting you in the building, you find your way. Right. I'm like, say no more. Mission is going to be executed. I got in that motherfucker, and I got into it there through an unconventional means. I felt it was a chick at the fucking door that I got through the regular way, but I was trying to get into the VIP thing. Right. So I just put my arm around her. I was like, yo, what's good, man? How you? You good? She was like, you don't know who I am? Just started kicking it with her and walked right past the fucking police. Right. Kept it moving. I get inside, I see Bobby Trends. I interviewed Bobby Trends already. Right. I see enough. I interviewed him. See all these different people. Wound up getting backstage. Before the end of the night, when Fabio went on, I was upstairs right next to fucking Shampoo. Right. Right next to him in the skybox. Right. He was like, you made it, Papo. You made it. You understand the assignment. Right. You understand? So I get where you coming from. You gotta, sometimes you gotta manipulate and show how hungry you are. You know what I'm saying?
Work hard, get to it. So, last 2 questions. How has changing your mindset benefited you?
It benefited me in many ways. In my relationships first, with people. I think before, you know, I speak and I act when dealing with people in relationships, male or female.
Right.
Um, I focused on the mission. I put my ego to the side.
Right.
My ego used to be like huge.
Right.
Pause. But um,
Right.
pause. But he's locked away.
Right.
My ego's locked away, and I'm more so concerned with how do we complete the mission?
Right.
Who's the leader of this ship? It don't got to be me, but whoever's the leader of this ship, show me how this needs to be done, and I will follow.
Right.
Like I have no problem following.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm doing a bunch of other shit, great
Yeah.
shit, and people look
Right.
at me like that, I follow others too.
Right.
You know what I mean? What about you?
I feel like for me, I stood on the sidewalks, you know, my
Mhm.
whole life. Like I'm the self-proclaimed king of the sidewalks, you know. But for me, I got gang member brothers, and I saw that wasn't for me nice and early. So at 12 years old, you know, this is 2004, 2005.
Throwback era.
Yeah, you know, it was like, that was, you know, I don't want to talk about the history of blood, but that came like 90 or 90, 91, something like that to New York.
Yeah.
So that was New York was real like gang heavy, like
Right.
in the 90s and the 2000s.
Yep.
It was color sensitive. You couldn't really wear certain colors outside. Like kids have the freedom to do whatever they want now. They got
Yeah, they don't give a
bandana
fuck.
clothing and a whole bunch of stuff.
They ain't banging at all.
That was a big no-no when I grew up. So I like sports, I like school, and I just stood in my lane. So for me, I'm from the South Bronx, and my mindset was just like, I just got to rise above this all. So I just went with the complete opposite of what I saw. You know, everything is negative, I'm going to keep it positive, you know, and I just ran with that.
That's good. That's because that's rare. That's rare in our community.
Right.
That's why it's only like, what, 10 out of 100
Right.
that will actually look at what the other 90 is doing
Right.
and say, nah, fuck that shit. I'm not going in that direction. Y'all wilding.
Right.
You know what I mean? So shout out to you. I went the other way.
Right. I'm beloved in my community, respected. They protected me.
Right.
You know, and I ended up going to boarding school for high school.
Oh,
You know,
word?
in Connecticut. You know, I had a baseball scholarship out there. So that exposed me early, like 16, boom, out the crib, living out there. My first exposure to like being in a predominantly white institution, you know, and being sent away for something good, like, you know, and I was out there, you know, $70,000 school. Bill Belichick's son is my neighbor.
That's
Like,
crazy.
it was crazy. It was the first time I thought everybody was rich was a celebrity. Out there is like orthodontists, real estate, stocks, and all of that. And it was like, whoa, like, you know, dude that got money on Microsoft in the 80s and set for life, you know.
Oh,
like,
that's ill, bro.
yeah, so, you know, it
That's
exposed me. So, like, with the work I do with the youth,
Mm.
I'm an assistant dean now at a school in Dykeman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, like, even that's not work to me because I'm where I want to be.
Right,
You know,
right.
so this is another way of, like, you know, we're going to expand and build a podcast, but, you know, I still have a way to feed myself and my family,
Right.
enjoy what I would do during the day, and that helps me fund my hobby, you know, which is
Got
the
you.
podcast. And,
That's
but,
smart. You're
yeah,
smart.
appreciate it.
You're very smart.
Appreciate it. You know, so just trying to, you know, find different ways to inspire the youth and create generational wealth and focus on my legacy. And so that's where my mindset is at. Like, just really just trying to build the community and show the youth, like, like the whole end up dead in jail thing, it is real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've seen it. You know, I've
School
gone to
to
visit,
prison pipeline.
right? School to prison pipeline, and I've gone to Rikers to visit my brother. You know, when I was younger, and I saw what that was like.
Ain't that process crazy?
Yeah, so you gotta get that mad.
What was your first experience when you
Um,
first went to visit your brother in Rikers Island?
Shit, it was blurry, bro. I only went once. My father was like, "I'm not coming here again, bro." Like, but it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, I want to say. And I remember my sister had a pin in her hair that they made her take it out. Like, so you can't like have like no hair ties.
Yeah, 'cause they think you hiding drugs in there.
Yeah. So I remember that. I remember that was kind of awkward. They treated her kind of like, she was young too. So it's like, yo, like that's, you know, my father was like, yo, just be quiet. Like, it was weird to me. Like, yo, like, why y'all?
You never been exposed to that.
Yeah, like, why y'all so like, bro? She's 16. She wore a hairpin. Like, what's up with y'all? You feel me? But that was their way of, I don't know, doing what they do. But it was, I remember seeing the dude that killed the family at 8 and the dude that shot the cab driving the back of the head.
Yeah.
They was both there.
Oh, that's crazy.
So that visiting room was wild, bro. I was just getting stuck. Like, I remember my pops crying. He's like, yo, bro, you gotta get your shit together. Like, you know what I mean? When you come home, and I'm gonna put you in the union. You gonna work. And my
Mhm.
dad did tiles.
Right,
My
right.
dad put both of my brothers in the union. And, you know, they still dibbled and dabbled, but it wasn't as heavy. But
Right.
I feel like that felony cost my brother a lot. Like, you know,
Mm.
like his whole life changed after that. And I feel like having that and then having the immigration stuff, my family
Yeah.
from Honduras. So it
Oh,
was
okay,
something,
okay.
if you came after a certain age, you kind of like grandfathered in. But
Right.
my other brother was fine, but he had a lot of immigration issues. So now, felon, immigration issues, it's like his life was all in shambles for a while. Because I don't know, I don't want to say the immigration stuff is worse, but like you might get sent back.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I've
So
seen that. I've
so
seen that.
it's happened. So just seeing all of that, I was like, yeah, this college shit is me. Baseball shit is lit. I'm traveling the world. You know what I mean? I play
Right.
baseball overseas. So this is my
Yeah,
lane.
this nigga's
I'm
always
enjoy
lit,
it.
man.
And you know,
The fuck, man?
yeah.
I want to play baseball, man. Teach me how to play
Baseball's a great
baseball,
sport.
brother.
I got you, man. You know,
I'm fucking around. I don't give
it's
a
all
fuck.
right.
I don't
But
care.
you know, that was my ticket out.
Nah,
You know,
nah.
education and
Shout
baseball.
out to you, bro. Like, for real, man. Like, because it's like when you asked me earlier about like something to the notion of like, you know, what I think about the past and, you know, if I could have
Yeah, like
changed
the if
anything,
and all, yeah.
the what if. You telling your story makes me think about what I used to want to do.
Right.
Like I wanted to be an engineer.
Right.
That's what I wanted to do.
Right.
When I was in school and everything, I would come home from school and draw trains and all kind of shit. I would build Legos to the fucking ceiling, all type of shit. I wanted to be an engineer because I like building shit.
Right.
And what's funny is how things transition years later.
Right.
Years later, I'm building things,
Right.
but not in the physical sense.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I help build brands and people and whatever, institutions.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And it makes me happy to hear that someone who looks just like me actually took that route.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And stuck to that shit.
Right.
And they doing their thing now. So shout out to you.
I mean, I appreciate that. And it's okay to stay out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I never felt comfortable in those situations. So I was word, all right, I'm gonna holler at y'all. I was the one finding things out after the fact. And I would tell them, that's what y'all gonna do? Not a good idea. I'm gonna stay right here on the block though. I'm gonna holler at y'all when y'all get back. You know what I mean? Yeah. The park. Like, but growing up in the hood, you learn like if homie going for his backpack, that means you should leave. So I had to see my first shootout to know like, don't let him get to that backpack or you have to leave. Feel me? Because I'm 12 in the basketball court and hard foul, and he's going over there to the North Face, and it's like,
yeah, nah, we ain't gonna do that.
So
I'm out.
So it's like you had to go through. So I've been through things like that,
right?
Where it's like, okay, you had to experience that, but it's like, okay, now like I'm out. You know what I mean? It's either we don't let him get to that backpack, or the whole I'm gonna be back. That means if he's leaving, that by the time he get back here, you shouldn't.
It's
be
lit.
Here.
It's
you know
lit.
What I mean? So
it's lit.
It's
very black and white with you.
Right.
I get it. Very black and white.
Very black and white. That whole gray area thing, maybe no. It's yes or no. It's right or it's wrong. That's it. We're not negotiating right and wrong. That's it. It was wrong, it was foul, and we're not doing that. You know, so even with the work with the youth and telling your story and everybody out and all these people, like just showing how the mindset has changed. Like we were once here in life.
Yeah.
And we've grown, we've evolved, we've changed certain circles. Sometimes we had to take away certain relationships to make room for new relationships. Like not
people,
every
places, and things.
Yeah, you know, and we got to make room for that. You know.
What's sad is that the reality of this, no matter how much we talk to be blue in the face, is that there are some youth out there that are not gonna get it till later. That's the fucked up part.
Right.
Like we strive our hardest to teach them now. Like, yo, bro, I know what's gonna happen.
Right.
I'm a fucking fortune teller when it comes to this shit.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen if you make that decision right there.
Right.
And they won't believe you
right.
until they go through it.
Right.
That's the sad part. And sometimes you die.
Right.
Or you spend the rest of your life in prison, or you become a recidivist like me.
Right.
And go in and out and don't get it until you 30-something years old.
Right.
And you're probably 16, 15, 14.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it. In our perfect world, we want all the youth to be on the same trajectory.
Right.
Living your passion, following your dreams, and getting to it.
Right.
But the reality is that we just got to keep working.
Right. Absolutely. And I think the forces are getting stronger. You know, now
Yeah.
we have ties and we bring our networks and talent and efforts together.
Mhm.
And you know, we're not gonna help everybody, but we're gonna help a few. You know,
We're gonna help more than less.
Then less. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's crazy because at the high school, this crazy. This happened 2 weeks ago. I told the kid about forced claiming, right? The dangers of that. And he's like, "Oh, Mr. B, but you said you wasn't in." No, listen, I wasn't in the streets, but doesn't mean I wasn't paying attention. That's two different things. You know, I had to be in tune. You had to know whose block this is, who's over here, what's going on in Cortland, what's going on over there. Like, that's just being in tune, you know? So when I told him, I'm like, bro, like, there's people that are gonna do harm to you because they feel like that's all they have to live for.
Right.
So you're not ready for that energy that they're gonna come at you with.
Right.
And the very next day after school, another kid got pressed and he got his beads popped. And it was like, it's crazy. It was like he was getting punched on, pause, and it was like a delay. He started to fight back, but it's like his brain was like
couldn't comprehend what was happening.
And the energy he was brought to. And the next day, yo, Mr. B, yo, I'm not gonna do it again. I saw what you was talking about. I'm not claiming nothing no more. I'm gonna just be on the basketball team and that's it. And you see, that's exactly
after the fact.
That was after the fact. And he got, luckily, unfortunately, it was someone else and it wasn't him. But he got to see it, what I was telling him, and the dangers of all that false claiming stuff. Because them dudes is gonna come do it to you for a badge of honor.
Yep.
The hood card. And you know, they're gonna protect what they feel they stand for, their reputation. And your energy don't give me that. You know, so I'm protecting you from yourself. And luckily he listened, and unfortunately he got to see what happened to the other little homie. But you know, that's the truth of the matter.
It is. That happens a lot in prison as well. But I'm also like, I'm about to start working in the schools as well.
Right.
With Dr. Malik Smalls at East New York Middle School.
Nice.
And the School of Excellence.
Right.
And the one thing I always recognized when I was in prison, when trying to teach the youth something, like the little wild niggas, is that I always connected them to something that they like.
Right.
Right? So music is the universal language of anyone. It could be the worst killer in the world.
Right.
It don't matter who the fuck it is.
Right.
You put on a certain song, a certain tune of music, it calms the wild beast.
Right.
Right? So I noticed that with a lot of these kids, they want to be rappers, they want to be producers and stuff like that. So me and Monk created a course curriculum that's about music production.
Right.
And then after music production, it's going to go into the music business curriculum.
Right.
All right? You have this talent, you're going to curate it, and then you're going to make money off of it.
Right.
And we're going to show you how to do that.
Right.
That brings all the gangsters, all of the wannabes, and even the real ones, like, yo, word, I could do this, I could do that. Yeah, bro, pull up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then when it's somebody like myself telling them this,
Right.
who've been through the shit that they probably going through,
Right.
it makes more sense to them. Like, damn, I could relate. Same thing with you. You're from the same area they from, so they understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's important to also, like, what you're doing, and then what I'm going to be doing is reaching out to them through music.
Right. And you're going to be at the School of Excellence. I have a nonprofit called Slice of Excellence.
Nice.
Where we trade report cards for pizza. So I sponsor pizza parties every month for perfect attendance. Schools all over the city. And every 3 months we do the report card. So it's quarterly for report card, but monthly, every month for perfect attendance.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
That's dope. You added incentives.
Yeah, the positive incentive.
That's
I appreciate
dope.
that.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, so it's a consistent positive incentive every month. You know? And we got partnerships with Snipes, so we do like the gift cards and the sneaker giveaways in here. Shout out to Up NYC, Fat Joe and the team.
Nice.
We do an event called Pick a Teacher, Pick a Sneaker, where you would nominate your favorite teacher and y'all go sneaker shopping together.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah, so Up NYC sponsored us. So
that's dope.
It was free Air Max, and then we got invited to Air Max Day. So they gave all those kids the white and red Air Max ones.
Yeah.
They gave all the teachers the silver or gold Air Max 97s.
Nice.
So you know we got to show love to the teachers.
Yeah,
man.
shout out.
So
They're the foundation of the mind shaping of the youth.
Yes, they are.
Besides the parents.
Right. You know.
Yeah.
They're part of that village.
Man.
You know. So last 2 questions.
All right, I'm here.
Message to your younger self.
You stupid nigga. The fuck is wrong with you, nigga?
Right.
Nah, let me stop. You out here running these streets and you ain't got to.
Right.
You got everything you want in the house. Why are you going outside?
Right.
Nah, but the message to my younger self, it would be it's all gonna be okay.
Right.
It's all gonna work out.
Right.
Trust me, it's all gonna work out. You're gonna be okay.
Right. Message to the youth.
Message to the youth is focus on what you're passionate about. No matter who or what is around you, you have to focus on your passion. Anything you're passionate about, writing, music, architecture, engineering, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're passionate about it, stick to it. Don't let anyone or anything stop you from pursuing your passion. There are a plethora of examples of men and women who look like us and who don't look like us, who have excelled in something that they felt so keenly and deeply rooted about. If you stick to that, you will succeed. Plain and simple. If your parents don't see your vision or don't really understand what you're passionate about, make them. Make them. Because you don't want to go down a road of doing something that you're not passionate about. You don't want to go down a road of doing something you don't want to do. If you don't want to work a 9 to 5, that's okay. Get your education in the thing that you're passionate about and just pursue that shit till the wheels fall off. And you will be successful. That's the message I would give to the youth.
Appreciate that. So, let us know where we can find you. Shout out your website, magazines, everything.
So, shout out. So, you can follow me on Instagram at Champ, CHAMPMEO. You could follow us on Math Hoffa, My Expert Opinion Show on YouTube, math.hoffa on Instagram as well. You could also, if anyone out there has incarcerated loved ones and you're looking to keep them entertained and in the loop with what's going on out here, you can order magazines from www.yktbmagazine.com. Social media magazines, girl magazines, business magazines, fashion magazines, everything you need to keep them in the know and start a really great conversation when you're on the phone with them. What else? Champion Style coming soon. Right. Yes. Clothing, lifestyle brand, that is coming soon. What else? Oh, yeah. Shout out to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Yeah, I'm being very humble. I'm being humble.
He's one of Robert F. Kennedy's delegates, right? Now, you already know 2024 elections coming up.
Right.
You see the state of the country right now with Joe Biden. Make a choice. This man he's qualified to talk about what's going on right now.
Yeah.
All right? Through experience. So pay attention to what he got going on.
Yeah.
And vote responsibly.
Yeah, I forgot about it. Listen, so the truth of the matter is I be doing mad shit, bro.
Right.
I do a lot.
Right.
I get artists with producers. I get artists with artists. I just connect so much behind the scenes, bro, because I'm always hungry.
Right.
But I'm working with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I'm working with Math Hoffa. The magazine, of course, that will never stop. I still personal train somebody. It's just a bunch of shit, bro. I'm working on branding stuff, about to start working with these kids in the schools.
Right.
And then there's more things coming, my lifestyle brand, Champion Style. But if you want to follow me and really get to know me and who I am and how I move and what I do, just follow me on Instagram at ChampMEO.
Right. Listen, man, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, tap in with the guys. And stay tuned, man. You never know who you're gonna see up here at this point.
That's a fact.
So and it's going,
Oh yeah, I forgot. I make beats too.
Yeah, you make
beats about that.
too.
I forgot. Yeah, I got features with Method Man, Davies, who else? Simba. No, not me. That's Nuo. Shout out to Nuo. Yeah, Math Hoffa, obviously.
Right.
Sauce Walker.
Right. Fire.
And some other people, yeah. I make beats too. So if you're looking for beats, holla at me. If you're a producer, holla at me too, because I like fucking with producers who may have a certain sound that I'm not used to or whatever.
Right.
So if you wanna work, hit me up.
Right.
DM me.
Peace. We out. Peace and love, world. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, support the channel, show your love. You know what I'm saying? We have a great conversation week in and week out. You never know who's coming. You never know what we're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's all about peace and love. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment.